By now it's time to invite the first guest into this little studio. He's a familiar face to most of you out here, I bet. It's Martin Sirk, ICCA's CEO, who can kind of set the context of this event. Martin, please join me. Good morning.
Good morning, Gerrit.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
Because, well, for us this is a second, but probably for a lot of our viewers this is the first time they might encounter an online event like this, or they might even encounter ICCA. And you know, I'm a lot into social media. Social media is full of short messages.
Okay.
If you had to summarize in a tweet or maybe a Facebook message, which is a little longer, what ICCA is, what would you say?
I would actually switch the question around. What I would say is that if you are a supplier in the meetings business and you want to target the international association sector,
yes,
then you should be an ICCA member.
All right.
Very simple. And if you're an international association, you should pay attention to ICCA because we are one of the world's leading organizations trying to gather together information about that sector. All right. So there's a lot of information for associations and a vast array of marketing data for suppliers.
All right, cool. So ICCA is a global association which runs a couple of events, and one of those events is this research, sales and marketing program here in Amsterdam.
It's a bit of a mouthful.
It's a mouthful, RSMP.
RSMP we call it
exactly.
internally, but it does exactly what it says in the title. It's for suppliers who are frontline people dealing with clients, association clients especially. Yeah. They're in research, they're in marketing, they're in sales, and so we couldn't come up with a better title than actually putting there what it's all about.
Exactly, and this event is 3 days here in Amsterdam. We're now on the morning of the second day. Yep. What happens here?
Well, it's quite a unique format in that we try to encourage the delegates to bring with them their live projects. All right. The research work they're dealing with, the site inspections they're organizing, their collateral, their problems with websites, so issues, and we build the program around those specific issues, so that when they go back to the office, they haven't just learned some theoretical concepts, but they've actually got real solutions. Yeah. Very, very heavily interactive, and lots of wisdom of crowd type sessions, so they learn not just from a very experienced faculty, but also from one another.
Exactly, and from one another, and obviously what I think is typical for RSMP, there's clients walking around here, and they sit on stage. Yesterday we had a session which was called "A Problem Shared is a Problem Solved," so we actually used these real association executives to learn from, right? Yeah,
not just that, but we want the suppliers to get inside the mindset of the associations. That's really
to better understand.
It's a key issue, not just to see them as walking business with sort of money signs, but to actually understand they're ordinary people, they've got problems. It's not just about how they organize their meetings, but how do they achieve their business objectives. Exactly. And that, you know, helping them to understand how those clients think really enables them to shift around from being a pure provider of commodity services to being a genuine partner.
Exactly. And if we focus on this session, the future of outsourcing for associations, what do you hope to achieve with the session in the next hour?
I hope to survive.
Okay, you personally,
moderating
yes. Because it's going to be a highly interactive and intense session,
it's going to be
session,
interactive.
Right?
We've already done some structured interviews with both associations and with PCOs and AMCs.
And we're going to share those results.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're trying to get input from all sides of the industry to understand the shape of outsourcing, where it's going, what are the key issues, and critically, how can outsourcing actually be addressed by the suppliers so they can do better business?
Exactly, because if you understand which services to market,
but also you need to know, do you go directly to the association or do you need to work with the intermediaries? Do you need to deal with them in a different way or not?
Very interesting, very interesting. And what do you hope the people at home who are probably watching us right now, what can they do with some of the takeaways? What would the next step be after watching this?
They can do an enormous amount. I mean, the first thing I would say is look at how you're communicating to associations. So review whether you've got the right tone of voice, whether you're actually presenting your services in a way which will resonate with their mentality. Yeah. Definitely, I would say, put in a very good individual research program for each piece of association business you're chasing. Don't treat them as a homogenous group. Exactly. But really try and understand that they may be the same size. They may have an event of exactly the same kind of 1,000 people, exhibition, breakouts, but the objectives they have behind the event may be totally different.
Exactly.
And that affects whether you're a venue or a convention bureau or a PCO. The way you approach that, you have to be in line with what they're trying to achieve. And the meeting is purely a means to do that. It's not the end in itself.
Exactly, and that's what we're going to practice today. And one thing you should definitely do when you're watching is actually follow up with our virtual goodie bag. Because we have for you, the online viewers, because you miss out on about 2.5 days of content and exercises and programs here, we give you something back, and that is the virtual goodie bag, which is actually a link. If you scroll a little bit down on the right side of your page where this video player is, you see, click here to download the virtual goodie bag, and there's lots of stuff in there. One of these things we have right here. What have you brought along?
I've brought along here
the modern history of international association meetings.
Well, actually, this is an edition that one of our members in Asia produced specially for us.
All right.
This document is actually an 80-page PDF, downloadable PDF. We don't actually produce it in this format.
No, exactly.
But what we found is that some of our members found it so interesting and useful, they started getting proper bound copies. We published this...
Lots of data, I see.
Lots of data. We published it last year for our 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
And it's been the heaviest downloaded product we've ever had in our history. We make it available not just to members, but the whole meetings market. And it looks at 50 years of data of association meetings. It looks at how meetings are measuring their economic impact. It looks at the history of technology over the 50 years. It looks at case studies of associations.
Exactly. It's a wonderful resource.
It's a fantastic resource to get, especially as an introduction to the whole area of association meetings.
All right.
And the big outcome of this, which actually surprised us enormously, is that when we did the 50-year analysis, we discovered that the number of meetings is doubling every 10 years.
Wow.
And we are pretty confident that we have the vast majority of these association meetings within our database. But to see that 50-year timeline, that exponential growth is really quite remarkable, and it's still going on today. So very, very important sector, very powerful, lots of business opportunities for everybody.
All right, Martin. Well, thanks a lot. Get your copy right now, I would say, and you'll find some other stuff in there, like a brochure of what ICCA can mean for you, but also if you're an association executive watching right now, there's this another PDF about what meetings management and association management companies actually are. If you're quite new to the industry, that's very interesting and very helpful.
Especially tied in very much with the outsourcing debate we're talking about. You know, there are many, many companies that offer a very, very wide range of services, and they have very different business models.
Exactly.
So we've tried to pull all that together in one place, so you can at least see what the options are.
Super. So that's a takeaway you already have just by showing up. Well, Martin, thank you very much. Get ready for your session on stage.
I will go and get myself mentally attuned.
We'll join you in about 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay.
See you on
Thanks
stage.
very much.
Thank you very much.
How will you inspire the minds of many? Will you provide new perspective that will allow others to see a world full of opportunities? Will you create a voice that captures the imagination of a kingdom? Will you share a welcoming smile that has others feel like royalty? Will you bring the world together via the speed of sound or the hush of a jungle? Will a rich culture and the arts become the fabric of your attendees? Will you stimulate their senses with cuisine envied by the world? Will you forever change the definition of a meeting room and inspire creativity in the beauty of silence? Will you redefine the meaning of work-life balance and create a venue that will have attendees feeling forever connected? Create the moments that inspire the minds of many. Connect people, inspire the world. Thailand.